Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of Trump Upsets the Market. How all day? Just mic check quickly, because the video broadcast updated over the weekend. So I just want to check the mic feels okay. It looks okay on the screen, but who knows? So yeah, hopefully you can hear me. I left several updates. It's great. Morning, Pro. Morning, Peter, Robert, Evil, FTNet, Ismet, how we doing? Morning, Mehes. Welcome to the private streams. Mehes just joined the private streams. That shows on my screen, doesn't show on yours, I don't think, in the chat. Morning, Des. Morning, Grebbers. How we doing? So, morning, Leo. So what we're going to do today is obviously just the usual stuff, go through the markets. Can hear you, but sound is off. What's off about it? That's not very helpful, Pooh. Sound is off. Off or on? Most maybe it sounds different. Yes, it is different sound this morning because there's been an update to the software, the broadcast software. A little bit like a Smurf. Like through a filter. It is through a filter, correct. Right, okay. I'm using StudioVerse Beta. Let me turn that off. Now I'm not using StudioVerse Beta, and now I'm probably deafening you all. So let me just turn it down a bit more, up a bit. Is that about right? Does that sound better? Sounds like I'm talking underwater. How about that? Does that sound better? Hopefully that will sound like it was before. No? No, it's terrible. I have no idea then. Sorry. This is a joke. I hate software updates. All software updates ever do is break everything. Is it like before? Still strange, robotic. I have no idea then. Don't know. I don't know. I can turn it back on. Turn that back on again. I could try and use noise removal. I'll tell you what I can do. Hang on a minute. Oh, what the hell? Where's it gone? Hang on a minute. Let me just try something. Why has my microphone vanished from that list now? God, I hate software updates. One sec. Just going to unplug myself. Okay, what's that like? Is that any better? That's just using default now, which should be my Yeti Nano, but it's now not appearing in the list. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it this morning. It's just a pain in the arse. I hate it when they update shit. Anyway, right. Well, it's showing that I'm output. Anyway, so we have got output. I am talking. Don't know. It is what it is. Right. I'm going to be a dyke this morning. I mean, I can turn that back on. Oh, there you go. Right, now my Yeti Nano is back. What is wrong with this thing? Sounds a bit distorted, does it? Oh, I don't know. Right, well, I've switched back to the Yeti Nano. I'm going to turn that off, shut that down. That's it. That's all I can do for you this morning, I'm afraid, because I'll spend the next 3 years trying to fix it and put it back to what it was. But anyway, right. I'll crack on. So, yes, Trump this weekend. So this morning, basically, I've put out in Discord, I've banked tons this morning already. So, up on the Zone Trader account, I'm up 1.5%. On ADR reversals, I'm up 3%. Still got some running on the ADRs as well.
But yeah, big movements over the weekend, obviously, because Trump decided he... what is that? Oh yeah. Trump decided to slap those tariffs on. So, sounds like you're talking through one of those megaphones. Does it still sound great? I can restart the stream completely and turn off all the new stuff, basically, that has been up. Well, I don't know if I can. Morning, Barry. Morning, Monkey. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. Sorry, it's just makes me just want to give up and just carry on trading because I can't be asked, basically, pissing about with software when they break everything. Anyway, I'll carry on. If you can't hear me, can't hear me. Put subtitles on. So basically, the upshot of the weekend was Trump broke the markets again. So we're going to look at the news first. So if we go back to, we're going to have to go back. When was where are we? Tariffs on copper. Here we go. So this is Friday, 9:30. So basically, he announced all these tariffs and everything on Friday, which we kind of knew about. And over the weekend, he imposed 10% tariffs on China as well, Canada and Mexico. And this was all signed off. Basically, look at the timing. 3 minutes after market close. So he knows what he's doing. New tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China to have no exclusions, basically. Blah, 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 blah. Where are we? Right. And then on yesterday, Trudeau came out and said, screw you, Trump, we're going to give 25% tariffs. So basically, Trump puts, this is what trade wars are. Trump puts 25% tariff on everything coming in from Canada. The mic is broken, Ryan, yeah. Can't do anything about it, sorry. So basically what Canada has now done is the opposite. They've put 25% tariffs on America. So it's basically this trade war. What happens in trade wars is they shoot one, they shoot one. They will go 30, they will go 30. They'll go, all right, screw you, we'll drop it to 15. They'll drop it to 15. Basically, it goes on and on and on, backwards and forwards. And the person that loses is every person on the planet. Because all that this does is put the cost of everything you have up. And what happens is basically someone comes in like Trump and says, I want to make America great again by reducing interest rates, reducing inflation, and making businesses stronger, making everybody richer, incorporates tariffs, and everybody just gets poorer. So he's basically done the opposite to what he said he was going to do when he came in. He's going to put them on the euro as well. So if we scroll through the weekend, paying from tariffs will be worth the price. I think you find it will, mate. Euro is also going to get hit by tariffs. He hasn't quite decided what it's going to be yet. I suspect probably 10%. UK probably going to get away with it because basically there's no point in putting tariffs on us because we don't give you anything. So it's financial services in the UK, so you can't really tax services like that. So yeah, basically we're not going to get any tariffs over here. So it's basically just tit for tat. We had the Aussie resale coming out overnight as well, which is a massive miss. So that's basically what happened over the weekend. So, of course, there's a load of Vilroy talking about what's going on this morning and the UK government statement on US tariffs. But basically, the upshot of it is huge gaps in the market. So today, you need to just be careful. There's a massive move. And basically, obviously, what this is going to do is potentially fill. Not. We just don't know. So this is massively bad for the Canadian dollar, obviously, because it's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt the US. So all markets basically will have gapped. If we just whiz in. Some of these are already undone because the Aussies obviously had movement this morning as well on its retail figures being terrible. You can see we're coming back up to a gap fill pretty much already. We've got 175 ADR there on the Aussie Swiss. The Japanese yen, massive beneficiary from this. Obviously, if you're going to pull money out of all the Canadian pairs and the Euro pairs and Mexican, etc., where you can put it in safe havens. So the yen, the Swiss, massive rallies this morning. Aussie, New Zealand, big move there as well because of the Australian. Aussie, US, gap down. CAD, Swiss, gap down. Yep, so everything's gapped. Turn the mic down a bit. Not the mic, the thingy. I wonder if I can just... Oh, I don't know. I'll have to sort the mic out another day. So yeah, so basically sideways on the EuroCAD because it's a negative against a negative. So everything is basically moved. So you've got two choices. If you see a gap and you like it, go for it. There's obviously a gap fill in play. Most gaps get filled, but this is a fundamental shift. This is basically the US and the Euro relationship completely changing, potentially. The Canadian relationship completely changing. So it could be that we just see continued strength on this US dollar. Or we may find the market just, this is a knee-jerk reaction, they're going to analyse what's gone on and the scorecards will put it all back to where it was. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. When you're not talking directly in the mic, the sound seems fine. What, like that? Is that better? Does that sound better when it's further away? Because I can keep it down there, like that. Is that better? Give me some real-time feedback. I don't know. So I can't do anything with it. It's just, you know, nothing I can do. It's better. It's better with a distance. Sort of sideways was good. It is not better now. Yes, it is better. You're not helping, guys. It is or it isn't. Maybe the gain was too high? No, the gain is at 50%. It's normally on 75. I've turned it down, way down. Better than talking on the side of the microphone. What, like that? Is that better? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I'll just leave it there. As long as you can hear me, that's the important thing. Just turn your headphones up and down, or whatever you're listening through. That's probably the easiest thing to do, but... So yeah, so just today you've just got to be a little careful, basically, with everything that you do. But so we'll see what happens. So ignore ADRs today. There's not a lot you can do with them. I've obviously got the EA running. If you've got the EA running, the EA will be trading these, obviously, because it's dumb and it's told to do what it's told to do. This has all happened overnight, so I've got a load of trades which have gone on and they've all paid out, which is fantastic. But taking new trades based on these today, I mean, they're all working out beautifully, so it does look like they're mean reverting everything, but I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see what happens, really. The market is going to be a mess today because Trump's obviously upset it. So we've also got news coming up which is going to affect this. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens with it. But just try and be a little cautious today. There's a load of 4-hour RSI extensions, but if you actually look at them, what they are is just extended embedded gaps. However, they are legitimate signals. It's massively strong in one direction, therefore it's likely to pull back. So this is what it's all about. Market coming back to undo inefficiencies and imbalances in the market. So I have got one trade on at the moment, which I've taken, or rather the EA took for me, which is a Euro Swiss, which is on the H1 RSI extension, which you can see here. So that one was on this morning. So looking for that to come back and gap fill. In fact, I'm just going to put a target on this. I'm not going to bank much on it, really. It's at 43, so that's nearly an ADR. So the gap fill basically is pretty much an ADR. Oh yeah, it's a different account, isn't it? I haven't tried to manually adjust an order on this one yet. So yeah, there. So that's all I've got on there. ADRs, obviously, I'll go through all the accounts in a minute, but we've had loads of pullbacks on all these moves. I would also, well, I'll go through it in a minute, but I've also found a bug in the position trader EA. I'm not sure if it's a bug, because it's doing what it should do. However, the way I have it set up means I've discovered an anomaly with it, which we'll look at in a minute. But anyway, so just going to quickly cover the news first of all for the week. So today, obviously Monday, we've had retail sales for the Australian dollar. They came out as a negative 0.1. We're expecting a negative 0.7. So that's a much better result than they were anticipating. But obviously it's still not good. It's still a negative. But so that's come out. It's not massive, the retail in Aussie, but it has moved it well this morning. But obviously everything's moving this morning, so it's hard to tell. We've got CPI for the Eurozone coming up. That will be down potentially because all the German was down last week when we looked at it. So that's why that's orange. We kind of know what it's going to be. We've got OPEC meetings starting today. This is going to be an interesting one. Trump has said that he wants the price of oil capped and he reduced to $60 a barrel. Mainly because what he's doing is he's stopping the import of Canadian oil with the tariffs. He's asking for restrictions on Saudi oil production to keep the barrel counts low and then reduce the price of oil, which means that the US can sell their surplus oil to everybody at a better rate. Make America great. The problem with that is the rest of the world's going to go, we're not interested in making America great, we're interested in making ourselves great. So there's going to be a lot of fiery talk at OPEC this week. So we'll see what happens. But there could be a lot of movement on oil today. Final manufacturing for the PMIs for the US dollar and then obviously ISM PMIs. So the PMIs is the main news of the day. How the news is going to affect anything now, this is as good as mine, because obviously people just don't know what to do with the dollar at all at the minute. So it could be that Trump comes round and changes his mind again next week. He did it last week, remember? He said, I'm going to put tariffs on the Canadian dollar starting on the 1st of March. And then he came out half an hour later and said 1st of February. Yeah, changed his mind and then changed his mind back to what he said originally within an hour. So all of this could be undone today. Just sit, wait and see. The best thing to do at the moment is to sit on your hands, watch all this unfold and then wait till the market stabilizes and start trading. But opportunities are there at the moment. Volatility is what we need to make money, and we've got a lot of it. So we've got jolts tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Then we've got the unemployment rate for the New Zealand forecast to go up, which means higher interest rates. Lower interest rates are going to be required for the New Zealand dollar. So it's going to be bearish, potentially New Zealand dollar tomorrow. Tomorrow evening. We've got non-farm employment change on Wednesday, followed by the services PMIs. Then we go into the Bank of England rate announcement on Thursday. So this is your main mover of the week, dropping to 4.5. So this is progress, but still not fast enough. We are still up at the max, and we're going to be basically coming down in line with the US. So no reason why that shouldn't happen, but the important thing to look at on Thursday will be this one here, the bank rate votes, which is basically all the board members and which way they decided to vote, whether to raise, drop or keep the same. So obviously we're forecasting everybody to say they all wanted a drop. If there is people saying actually we didn't want to drop more than is forecast, that can have a bullish effect. But again, this is Thursday. Yeah, we've got Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday to go yet. Trump could completely destroy the pound or pump the pound within the next day. So just impossible to tell, but pound in theory Thursday. We've got FOMC Waller speaking, and then we go into Canadian unemployment on Friday and non-farm payroll. So the unemployment rate for the US, again, that's forecast to come out as standard. If that goes up, it will put more pressure on the Fed to drop those interest rates. So we could have a big move coming in on Friday as well. So that's your news coming up this week. There's a lot of high impact news, but not a lot of news this week. So interesting kind of week coming up. Right, so there we go. That's your news that is forecast for this week. Let me just quickly look at the indices. I haven't looked at those this morning. So the FTSE this morning is, I still haven't got those lines drawn in. Let's change that to, whoops. So there's your open. So that's your 5-minute ORB. So it's a break long just about. So we have had 2 inside bars at the open on the DAX, on the FTSE, sorry, and it's just breaking long now. The DAX is a long break. So that's your 5 there. So it did break short. And now it's breaking long. So if you're using SIH, you're probably hedged on that this morning. I'm not trading SIH at the minute while all this is going on. This is ORB version 2 that I'm running here, which is in test at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. Jesus, what's that target? That's miles. Whoops, that should be 0.4, not 4. I was going to say. That'd be nice. 0.4. So what are we looking at? ADR. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 80. Let me just quickly adjust this target. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that there. No, I'm not, because it's not fair. This is a test. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it there. Great. Go for the gap fill. Why not? It's not a real account. This is only a demo account. It's testing the EA. So it's great. Let's go for the gap fill today. FTSE gap fill as well. I've got the target set wrong on that as well. That's that should be 0.4, not 4. There's no way we're getting 4 ADR, is there, at the open? Let me just quickly check the NAS and all the others. Yeah, no, that's right. 0.4. This is one of those days today, I can tell. Started off well, banking loads of money, then all your tech goes wrong and you've got your EAs all set up wrong. So there we go. So we'll see where those go today. Again, you just got to take everything with a pinch of salt. Today, it's going to be a crazy one today. Crazy how the world changes because of one man. Yeah. Morning, JC. Yeah, it is one of those things. I had a weird dream last night. I was working for Elon Musk. This is how bizarre it is. Basically, for some reason, Elon Musk basically took me on as his right-hand man. So I was in the office working with Elon, and I had basically to fill out lots of forms and start a new marketing campaign for him, basically for Tesla, because Tesla wasn't doing very well with cars. And yeah, and because obviously stock market was crashing and Trump was coming in, and he wanted me to take over Tesla because he was doing more stuff in the government now. So weird dream. It was the 1st of February on Saturday. I had my first taste of alcohol in a month. So I'm thinking maybe my body was like, what the hell is this? Anyway. I forgot to look at the DAX, the spread on the DAX at Global Prime before the open. It was 3.2, now it's 0.8. Yeah, it will be. So always, all brokers basically, you're always going to get bad spreads before the open because this isn't real trading conditions. And it obviously tightens up when the market opens up. Today, however, I guess the spreads will probably be a bit wider because the increased volatility, but was it a good job? No, it wasn't a good job because I was working for Elon Musk. He's a bit of a tyrant, it turns out. So yeah, there we go. Very odd. Right, so let's look at the zones this morning. So I'm not going to go through ADRs and RSIs and everything this morning because I don't think there's much point. Obviously, today you've got a choice. You're either going for it, for the gap fill, or you're not. So everything is extended on ADR pretty much, and everything is extended on RSI pretty much. So you are either getting into tons of opportunities and they are all going to gap fill and you're going to get money on all of them, or they're not. So far today, they're all working out pretty nicely. So I have no idea whether the market is actually going to assume that this euro collapse is going to happen. And I've no idea if they think the Canadian tariffs are going to hold. At the moment, it looks like the market is assuming this is a knee-jerk reaction and is undoing it, which is correct, because what's happened is Trump has put 25% tariffs on. Canada have combated it with 25% tariffs. So nothing has actually changed, has it? They're both now just paying 25% more than that. Mike's broken, Tom, because NVIDIA decided to update NVIDIA broadcast over the weekend and broke everything. They broke it all. As you can see, I've got a nice background now, which is great, but the mic doesn't work. So I will fix it today. I'll have to record a video and just play around with tons. The trouble with streaming is you haven't just got your mic input. You've got your mic input in Windows. You've got your mic input settings in the microphone itself. You've got the mic input settings within Streamlabs, the streaming software. You've got the mic input settings within NVIDIA Broadcast. They all do different things and they all affect each other in different ways. So you don't just have a slider or a dial. You have 4 sliders and dials multiplied by each other. So there's 32 variations of pressing buttons and things just to get the bloody thing to work. I might buy an office basically and just start doing everything live in an office, and then everyone can come to my office because it's much easier. It does only happen every now and again. I'm just never updating software again. I did it the weekend as well. Last weekend I updated Streamlabs. Nothing worked. All my layouts disappeared. So you're only pressing an update button. It's not a break button, it's an update button. It's exactly the same as MT5, everybody. This is why I don't use MT5, because they break it all the time. Anyway, enough of MT5. So just going to run through the accounts. This is the H1 RSI mean reversion. So there's only one trade on at the moment. If you remember rightly, I went flat at the end of January, banked 15% or something this month. Or in January went flat. So yeah, first trade on Euro Swiss. So that is the only thing on at the moment. That's the only hourly RSI extension that has signaled. So in run, looking for basically just going for the gap fill on that one. The ADR reversals banked 3.2%. So I'm just going to quickly cover this weird anomaly that I found with the ADR strategy. The ADR strategy I have always run in the same way as the RSI, basically. So get into a trade and try to get somewhere around half, 3/4 of an ADR out of it, and then obviously just scale in as required. What I'm doing at the moment is I am targeting a monetary amount, which is half an ADR. And it's a tighter scalping strategy, as you can see. So we're in out pretty quick. What I've discovered is we find one that's closed out. So there's one there. Okay, so there's a quick scalp, straight in, straight out. That's going for the gap fill out way too soon on that, but it's not about. It's about getting the money, not about getting the exit right. So we're on there. Let me just find the other one where I found the anomaly. Right, so this is it. So what we've done is we've taken an ADR reversal because we've hit 125 ADR and we're out of that. Market's gone into consolidation for a bit and it's taken another ADR reversal and we're out of that. Now, happy, 2 trades, 2 wins. What's the problem? Problem is, I wasn't expecting it to take a second trade, because typically what happens with ADR reversals is when you get your ADR, you either have to scale into another one and then get out, or you get in and it works out straight away and you get out. But what doesn't happen very often is it pushes back up again and then gets down again, which is what we've had today. So this has taken a second signal. I'm not sure whether or not I wanted this to be done. Today obviously was great. When you speak quieter, it fixes itself. The gain is too high. I don't know, the gain is not too high. The gain is 50% less than it was on Monday. It's not, it might be the gain, but it's not, I don't know. It's something I can't fix at the minute. So yeah, basically it's taken another trade. Now, in theory, it's doing the right thing, isn't it? It's pushed up above ADR again, and it's signaled again. So it's doing what it's designed to do. But this didn't come out in testing. So I'm not sure whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm going to monitor this. It's only come to light for me because I'm running ADR reversals on a separate account now, that I'm spotting these little anomalies. Obviously, these will be there in testing as well. So just need to have a think about whether or not this is a good thing, because obviously this one here we've got in. Now, there's your ADR high trigger. If this pushes up here now and then drops back down again, we're going to take another short. But is that not a bad thing? Because market structure is reversing, it's probably going to do an A-shaped recovery. But there will be days where you'll suddenly get in and you'll get out, and you don't want to take another one because it might trigger at like 9 o'clock at night or something. So I'm going to monitor this. It's not a bug, it's an anomaly. There we go, here's another one. Right, so here's another example. We've pushed up above ADR 125. We've taken our short entry. There's the signal short. We're out. Happy days. We're above ADR 125 today, so we've got a second signal. We're taking a second short. Do I want that second short? I don't know. If it pushes up back into here and turns into an M-shaped fill, yes, I do. If it now screams off in that direction, I don't. But, you know, this is what it's all about, isn't it? So if that is, the fact it's banked and then it's got in again, may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. So I'm going to monitor and see what happens with these. I'm going to do some more testing. So there is a way I can limit this to only take one trade a day on ADR. But in testing, obviously, any ADR reversal testing will have this functionality in it as it stands at the moment. So this one's taken 2 trades already, which is right. So yeah, I'll have to have a little monitor on that, because if this pushes down again now and back up again, I guess it's going to take it. I'm using a 5, aren't I? Now in my original testing I used a 9 as well. I'm wondering if that's why, because I'm using a 5 and not a 9. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have got a second trigger on a 9 MA. It's because I'm using a really fast MA to get in. I'll have to think about that. Anyway, there we go. Morning, Virginia. So when it takes a second trade, it's still above ADR 125. No, because basically what the logic does is it says monitor, and when you are above, when you exceed the ADR level, it basically puts a flag in place and says, right, ADR's been hit. Yeah, get ready to take a trade. And then it takes that trade. Yeah. I think the way I coded the logic was that was it, but I may have, you know, and if it then pushes up again above 125, it's going to reflag it as we're above the 125 level, take another trade. Now that is actually correct. We're above ADR 125, it's pulled back. We're above ADR 125 again, it's extended again, but it's actually part of an up leg. So, but it's mean reversion. So yeah, we do want to short up legs. So I don't know. I have to have a look at the logic. But I've never seen it before because obviously I don't really trade. I haven't traded ADR in the past, but obviously I'm looking for diversification at the moment. And this is kind of a stop lossy based strategy because it only takes 2 trades and then gets out. So I don't know. I'll have a look and play around with it. But 1 trade a day sounds safer. Yeah, you say that, but I'm sitting on 3.2% profit today because it's taken more than 1 trade. So every time you press the button, you've got 50-50 shot. So in theory, look, there's your ADR low trigger, look. So in theory, if this pushes down there and then goes up again, it's ignoring that, which means that it flags it once and then it stays flagged. So I'd need to turn the flag off. How would I do that? Yeah, I'd have to recode the logic. I'm always wary about doing things like this because everybody that has been backtesting and got a set file that they're happy with, if I change the way that the logic works on ADR and they're trading ADR, all of a sudden all their backtest is going to be wrong. Or not wrong, just different to what it will actually do. So I'm always wary about changing logic after release because, you know, if people are happy with it doing what it does, they may well think, well, that's totally normal. For me, I'm surprised because it wasn't what my intention was. But, you know, when you're building EAs, your intention and your results are kind of become irrelevant. I've found some very, very good strategies by accident doing something and it taking stupid trades, which I thought was stupid, and then going, actually, that works really well. It happens. So I don't know. I'll have a look at that. I'm going to monitor it and see. I'm going to be doing some updates to the position trader ADR, position trader EA anyway. So it will be a good time to sort of tweak it. On the ADR 125 strategy, what's the difference if I take an entry on 5 minute? You get a 5 minute signal. That's the difference. So if I'm trading on the 15-minute chart. If you go to the 5 minute chart, your entries will be on the 5 minute chart. It's a different signal. So basically, the signal is a moving average cross in this case, which is there. So whether you use a 5, a 9, a 14 moving average, you'll get a different result. And if you use a 5 minute time frame and a 15-minute time frame, you get a different result because you're measuring price on a different period of time. That's all. So 5 minute, you'll get tighter entries. 15 minutes, slightly looser. 30 and hourly, a lot looser. So it's aggression, basically. The lower the time frame you go, the more signals you will receive, but the more false signals you will receive. However, the tighter you will get in. So on a 5 minute chart, this is a good example. This is my entry on the 15, yeah? Well, you can see my entry on the 15 there. On a 5 minute time frame, you would have got in on that candle there. Actually, you would have got in on that candle there. Depends if you've got it on touch or close below, but there is where you would have got in, and that is where I got in. So the difference is kind of that. But some days you will get an entry on the 5 minute and the 15 minute won't trigger, and then it will continue down, and the 15 minute will trigger somewhere around about 150, 175 ADR, but you will have got in here. But the 15 minute won't have got in here because obviously you're getting, it's faster. Yeah, you got 3 candles instead of 1 candle every 15 minutes, therefore you're going to get tighter entries. No right or wrong, different. It's just different. Everything's different. All the time frame is a representation of price over time. Can't see them off the top of my chart, but those are the times. It doesn't matter which one you use, really. Sometimes it's better to get on 5, sometimes it's better to get on 15. If we knew which one it was better to get on in each day, we'd be millionaires. We don't. So just take the trade, let the trade play out. It will either work or it won't. Thanks, $3,000 on the trend pullback strategy today as well, which is very nice. My mic is like a 2007 webinar. I know. Right, so I'm just going to quickly cover these zones today, and then I will go and fix my mic. Aussie dollar CAD. I've got obviously banked. You'll see what I've banked as we go through, but I've banked 1.5% this morning. I've got a lot of open positions here. I'm going to give it today to play out. I haven't got a lot of drawdown. I'm going to give it today to play out. Euro CAD, I'm keeping a close eye on, and Euro New Zealand. The reason I'm watching these two is obviously that is my biggest CAD exposure, and I'm quite exposed on the Euro, and we haven't had confirmation of the Euro tariffs yet, and they will be coming, I reckon, probably in the next 24, 48 hours. So there's a high probability of a spike on the Euro coming as well. So I'm toying with the idea of potentially closing some of this out, but I'm going to give it today just to see what happens and how the market reacts to these moves and whether it undoes them or not. So I'm going to whiz through them all. Aussie dollar CAD, I'm trading long and short. So basically I'm out of the shorts at the moment. I closed this one out manually this morning because I just wanted out and to reduce my CAD exposure. So this is closed out at a break even. This is the zones that I had set. So all I've done is I've just shut this just to reduce the exposure a little. So just going to have to reset zones in here. This is the area I was originally looking at as a bounce, and obviously it's done that, but it's done that on a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this for the minute set up here, because obviously we've got potentially a lot of movement coming on the Canadian. It should be, if it's going to be bearish CAD, that sort of movement. So I think what I'm going to do is just leave the zones in place at last week's low here and see if we test last week's low and try and get a bounce out of that. Obviously, it would mean scaling in down to there if it is going to drop, i.e. the Canadian is going to power up. If we get, I don't want to take this because it's already done 3 times. So if it does get back up there, it'll probably hold this level. But if it doesn't, I'd rather get in up there because it'll be nicely stretched. So I'm going to try and a little short out the highs, but I'm just sitting and happy to watch this for the minute. Aussie dollar Swiss, new long taken, so I need to place a new long. So we got in here. I had my zone set here. Scroll out. And obviously what's happened is it's pushed all the way down, then it's triggered the order long there. So this is now in profit. So my next buy is going to be down at those lows, down there. And exit on this. I'm just going to go for the gap. So I'm going to see if we can get this gap fill done. I'm toying with the idea of shutting this, to be honest. I just am thinking about reducing exposure. I've got quite a lot of Swiss shorts on. I'm just going to close this out and just go flat on this for the minute, just deleting the zones. I'm not going to trade that for the minute. I'm just going to reduce my exposure on the Swiss franc because the problem is I've got a lot of Swiss exposure on, and if we get a safe haven run, that's going to happen. Or actually, rather, that is going to happen, isn't it? So I'm just cautious a little bit at the minute. So I'm just shutting that one out. Aussie New Zealand. It's just about in 15 minutes to take the next short. So I need to leave that in place. So we've got a short on here. We've got that one which we took off. I've been scaling in and out of this basically. So next short is about to go in. This is obviously turned grey. Why has it turned grey then? Not quite sure what's happened there, but yeah, I'm going to be taking a new short on this now. Average will be up and then exit at the lows. So we get out down here somewhere. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Gap down, new entry on, so I need to place a new buy. So this is obviously one of the big problems at the minute, Aussie US. It's only in 0.5%, it's not a big problem. There's nothing to look at for support to the downside on this at all. We're in new territory here. Going back to the date, I mean, we're just in new territory here. So it's basically just scaling in at the lows. So if we push down, I will just get another position on down there. Exits to the upside. Gap fill isn't going to get me a profit. Do I just want to get out of this at the minute? Probably do. So I'm just going to, again, it's reducing exposure on the US dollar at the minute because it's very volatile. I will take a break even on it and just be done, get out. And then it will flip short automatically for me. There. Got this little gap fill up here, which might try. That would be a good target to the upside as well, but it's very difficult to call. When you're looking at this situation now today, everything's different today. So I'm adjusting my expectations on everything today. CAD Swiss, new long gone in. Next long will be down at the lows. Yeah, so that's next long entry. So if we double bottom, I will take another long. Exits, just going to move down. We'll target the highs. So gap fill is basically upside resistance. Again, your guess is as good as mine with the CAD. Basically, they've just combated Trump's tariffs. So basically, there is nothing new, is there? So we should get back to the gap, in theory. Now everything's just more expensive for Canadians and US. Next short taken on euro oil at resistance. So this was the resistance I drew in. We've bounced beautifully. That's in profit. Euro odd. I'm happy to leave this on. I'm happy to leave target in place because if he announces those European tariffs today or tomorrow, euro's down here. Thank you very much. I'll be out. So next sell. Can't really find any decent upside resistance, so it's literally a case of just need to scale in when we get above that zone, basically somewhere. There's no real obvious resistance, so I'll just get in if it pushes up, just to keep the average close to price. Euro CAD, sell zones in place, buy zones in place. Yeah, should come down. The euro. Euro Swiss already jumped down, so I need a new long, which will be down at support. And upside, I will get out if we can get back to gap fill. Euro pound. So euro pound I'm now out of. So this is the one that I did partial scale outs on. Remember, I've been taking profit on this all the way. This was the last part of that position, and this has been a nice gap down and exit in profit this morning. So that's done. So I'm out of that. Don't need a buy zone at the moment because I'm short only. So I might try to short out the gap. So if we can get back to the gap today, I'm going to try and short that gap. Euro New Zealand, didn't quite get to trigger my target, my next entry this morning, so that's just in place, nothing to change. Euro US dollar, I'm looking for shorts. So I'm out of the shorts basically today. So I'm looking for a re-entry short. If we can make the gap fill, I will get out. I will get in short at the gap if we can make the gap fill. So yeah, if we can get back here, I'll short that. I think it's quite a big if at the minute, isn't it? But we'll see. So somewhere around there. Pound odd. Looking to try and get in long. So I'll go for a double bottom. So this accumulation here There's your propulsion move. There's your gap fill. So if we double bottom, I'll attempt a long there. Now I'm just dragging my entry up, basically trying to get in long, but I can't get in on it. Pound CAD, same thing. So again, I'll move. We've done the gap fill already. This is a really tricky entry, this one. It's a bit of a mess, that's all. So this massive, I mean, somewhere in here, if we're going to continue like that, but what's going to happen to the CAD? I don't know if I want to be in this, to be honest, at the minute. I'm going to go for the propulsion gap fill. So basically, we've got this propulsion move here, which they tested the top of it and rebought. If we can get a really nice strong push back down into propulsion, I think they'll probably rebuy that. But obviously, since that propulsion gap was placed and today, it's all different. Everything's changed, isn't it? So what I think I'll do is I'll just leave that propulsion gap there. And if it does have a dramatic push, i.e. Trump decides to undo the tariffs, which means Trudeau will undo the tariffs in Canada, we'll get a big move back down here. We haven't had any announcement on the pound tariffs yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Trying to get in on this one, pound Swiss, again, leaving that in target in place. So if we get down there, I'm going to buy. Not looking for shorts. Pound US dollar gapped down. I'm in this with a nice profit. What do we do with this? I mean, if this is going to gap, but it's just going to eat my profit away, do I just want to take this off and do some DD control? What is going to happen today? I don't know. This is my target to the downside. That is where we're bouncing. However, we've double topped the gap high. Are we going to get continued strength in the US today or not? That is the question. I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to put a trailing stop on it. So either that double top gap is going to hold and it's going to trickle down into my target, in which case I will drag my TP stop loss down. If they're going to go for the gap fill, I'm going to take about 150 off the table, just under 0.5%. It's a single trade. There's absolutely no risk. It's straight in, straight to profit. It's literally taken no heat at all. So take it off. It's not costing me anything. So yeah, going to do that with the pound US. And then obviously I will look for another short entry at a later stage. New Zealand dollar CAD. What a wiki mess. Just missed my entry, look. By a pip. Again. It's twice it's done that to me. So just missed the entry. So I am short, looking for it to come down to the lows, not changing anything there. New Zealand dollar Swiss, new long gone on. So next buy at the lows, down there. Exit. I'm just going to move my exit down. I'm going for the gap fill. So this isn't going to be a lot of profit. There's 3 trades on there, really, really spaced out. So if we can get the gap fill done, I think I'll just be happy to get out of this one. Again, just reducing my exposure on the Swiss franc in case we get a safe haven run. New buy needed on New Zealand US. There's nowhere support resistance wise on this. We're at new lows, so literally just get in and scale in of this target to the upside now. So if we do the gap fill, I shall leave. US dollar CAD. Yeah, I've got nothing on this at the moment. So I got out of this, if you remember, on Friday last week. I exited when we got that drop in case these tariffs came in, and obviously they did. So that was a good call. I'm not trading US dollar CAD at the moment because obviously I'm looking for longs on this. So, I mean, in theory, I will buy, in fact, I will buy the gap fill. So, if we undo the move, I will buy the gap fill. And US dollar Swiss, just about to exit, literally in 4 minutes. Should we watch? So I'm just going to close it. EA would have closed that out for me anyway. So there you go. That's out. Done. So there's another whatever in the bank. So yeah, so pound US dollar is bankable, euro is bankable. Whether I'm going to do any drawdown control, I'll have to think about this. So the only thing really that I would want to do DD control on at the moment is Euro CAD and Euro New Zealand. So if you look at Euro CAD, I'm just going to move actually that down to there in case we triple top this high. But I think the euro is going to come down when the announcement comes out about their rates anyway. So yeah, we'll see what happens on that. But I'm not going to do any DD control on this at the moment because I've got 3 trades on it only. It's not in a massive amount of drawdown. It's not, you know, it's neither here or there at the minute. If I close out this, I'm just taking an unnecessary loss really. So we've got Euro CAD, and the only other thing I've got which is in issues is Euro, well it's not in issues, Euro New Zealand, but that's got 3 on only, it's not the end of the world, and that is also coming down. And the Euro, when he announces tariffs, when he announces these tariffs basically, because he's going to put tariffs on the European Union, he's already said it, confirmed it, he hasn't confirmed what. I think the speculation at the moment is 10%. So if a 10% tariff goes on, the euro's going to obviously drop hard. We're going to get a 150 ADR plus move maybe. So we're going to be down here testing these lows again. So I'm going to leave these in place for the moment because this drawdown that I've got on the euros will vanish very, very, very quickly. And then everything else is kind of normal. If the EU comes out and preempts this with something beforehand, which we've had a bit of noise about this morning, Trump's tariffs will increase economic uncertainty and is very worrying development. There will likely be further rate cuts, bearish. Trump tariffs are very brutal and it will hit the auto sector, bearish. Everyone loses in this kind of trade war, bearish. We should not rule out any riposte from the EU if Trump does impose tariffs, bullish. So you've got 3 bearish statements and a bullish. Euro not going up, is it? So I'm not worried about those really as shorts at the moment. So there's no point in doing DD control today until Trump plays his next hand. It's like playing poker with Trump. Fun. Guess who wins? Right, there you go. That's it. That's everything covered. I will fix my microphone. Indices, your DAX is a nice clean break long. Depending on which EA you're using, SIH might have hedged. Hard to tell. If you've got an offset, you may not have got in. It's difficult to tell, but it's a break long. So that's nice. And the FTSE is a mess. Total mess. So yeah, this strategy basically is the ORB V2, and as you can see, it's made a $800 loss so far this morning, and it's up 906, so net equity is 108 positive. If this decides to do that, that will become a huge number and we will bank lots of money, but we'll wait and see what happens. Yeah, so market's in turmoil today, basically. Anybody got any questions on anything? Anybody want to look at Anything in particular? Thanks for sticking with me in the mic this morning. There's 42 people here. I'm surprised you're still here. If I sound like a Dalek underwater, I don't think I could have listened to myself waffle on for an hour, but well done. I will fix the mic. That's as soon as I come off, that's my first job to do today. Get that sorted. But yeah, pain in the arse. I don't want to play around with it because it's just going to break a bit. How will the US markets open up? Who knows? No clue. Let's have a look at the US markets. So obviously we're gapped down today. I mean, this is bullish. Well, this is the difficult thing, isn't it? On Friday, this was bullish US, yeah, which is bearish market. So stock indices down when US dollar's up. So this was bullish Friday. Trudeau came out over the weekend and basically undid Trump's tariffs. So Trump put 25% on, dropping the stock market. Trudeau has added 25% back. In theory, that is a quite probable and logical thing to do today, is to come and fill that gap. Because what we've had is news that drove the market that way, and over the weekend news that has undone that drive. So that fundamental now from Friday isn't there anymore. So that is the logical thing to happen. However, the market obviously doesn't know whether or not anything new is going to happen once the market opens today. So it might be a case of we sit around and wait to see what Trump does this afternoon. Trump's asleep at the moment. So it could be that Trump comes out and goes, right, screw you, Canada, have another 25%. That will be off the bottom of the chart. Yeah, you'll be disappeared. But then all that's going to happen is Trudeau is going to come out and go, screw you, Trump, you can have another 25%. Nobody ever wins in a trade war, which is why we don't do them. However, you get some people coming in that think they're a good thing. So yeah, that's the expected move today, would be gap fill. So even now in the Globex session, as you can see on the S&P 500, we are already breaking back out of the Globex gap down. So that could be done by the time the market opens. So if the market undoes this already today, so let's say, for example, this morning, I mean, it's so unlikely, but let's say it's this morning, Trump gets up at 4 a.m., which is obviously before market opens at 9:30 in the US, and the first thing he does is reach for his coffee, get his phone and go, 10% tariffs on euro. Yeah, this thing's going to collapse. Just, you can't tell. So at the end of the day, all trading is wrapping risk around price movement. So your job is to decide on a binary outcome. If you think this is going up today, press the buy button now and place a stop loss there. Place a TP there and you have a 1.5 to 2R. If you think that this is coming down today, wait until it gets there and short it. Or place a pending trailing stop underneath price. That's it. And have a stop. And if it's going to go down today, it's going to break that low. So use your risk accordingly. That's all you can do. NASDAQ down. NASDAQ's on its way back. Look, already. So we've already broken out. You could even use a very tight stop there and go for that. So there's your stop. Who knows? Do you think you will run both ORB V2 and SIH? I probably won't run both. I don't know. I'll probably run ORB V2, but I need to verify it. It's not working properly either. So there's an issue again in back testing. So I did another round of back testing on Friday. Where do I put that? So I did another round of back testing on Friday and retested the DAX and the FTSE. So the FTSE gave okay results, not as good as the others, but that's because it's got horrible spreads. It just doesn't move as nicely, and it doesn't move as far. What I find with the FTSE is it clean breaks quite nicely, but it doesn't really tend to get very far, and that is kind of backed up in the data. You know, the best thing to do, it's recommending, is use a 5% ADR minimum range. So it's saying, you know, just get in really anytime you can, because it's not going to go very far. But it doesn't produce amazing results. The DAX did produce phenomenal results again. I decided to remove martingale factor or lot multiplication from all results to give everything a nice, clear, straightforward equity curve. So I decided to get rid of that. It doesn't make enough difference. I'd rather have lower risk and you know, still a decent return on drawdown. But what I found when I was testing was this martingale or the lot multiplication system wasn't quite working right. Every now and again it would decide to reset itself back to the original lot size, and I looked through the code and I can't find out why. So I'm going to have to recode all of that. But yeah, even without martingale factor or any lot multiplication, very, very, very good results on the DAX. So the DAX works incredibly well, the S&P works incredibly well, the NAS works incredibly well. The two that don't work as well are the Dow and the FTSE. And this makes sense because the Dow and the FTSE are the slowest moving indices. So this is a momentum breakout strategy. Slow moving indices, less momentum. Obviously, they're not going to perform as well. So it points to the fact that you should be trading the NAS, the S&P, and the DAX with this variation on the strategy. So I've got more testing to do on it, but I think I will probably just do the one. You know, I don't really want to run a similar strategy more than once. I switched from the original ORB to SAH because I preferred the SAH over the ORB. It's just personal preference, but I'm preferring this version of ORB over SAH at the minute. But they all do the same thing. However, I think the SAH has got a lower return than the original ORB. But I'm not worried about a lower return. I'm worried more about a stable return because you're taking less trades. The ORB V2 also takes less trades. It can only take 3 trades a day. Yeah, so the original opening range breakout strategy, or the opening range breakout EA, the issue with it was on days where you have this type of price action, it would get really hurt. Yeah, the SAH wouldn't, because it only takes 1 trade in each direction. So it got rid of that. The downside is, obviously, on the days where we do this with the ORB, it makes a fortune, way more than SAH. So it's always swings and roundabouts. Every strategy, every system variation you have has a positive and a negative. So if you have something that creates loads more profit, it also creates loads more drawdown, or it reduces strike rate. If you've got something that doesn't make a lot of money, but has a very consistent high strike rate, there's the trade-off. There's always a trade-off. You can't have a strategy that just does that. It doesn't happen. So ORB V2, the fact that it just takes 1, 2, 3 attempts within 15 minutes means that I'm getting the best of both worlds. I'm getting a stop loss based strategy that has a high strike rate and a very high return on drawdown. However, when the market is whippy like this, it will only take a maximum of 3 losses, which is fine because every reward is 4R. So those days are just immediately wiped out by the days that break. So, but it also will not overtrade. I can't take more than three trades with it. So it's got that advantage. So it's a good strategy, or good variation. However, I can expand it as well to take the 30 and the 60 into account, which again, I've got to do testing on, but I don't know, we'll see. Haven't decided yet. With Trump tariff, forex will have more volatility. Yep. Good for traders. So yeah, volatility is what we need. The only way we make money as traders is when the market moves. Trump is brilliant at moving the market. Look at my P&L today. Yeah, I've got 2.4% banked there. I've got 3.2% banked there. Can't argue with Trump making money, can you? However, some people will be in massive loss today and massive drawdown today because they're the wrong way. Horses for courses. You know, every day, every trader, for every trader that makes money trading, one is losing because it's a binary market. For this person to make money, he has to have taken the opposite direction from another person. Yeah, so if I press the buy button on the Euro Swiss, someone right now is short the Euro Swiss. They're in drawdown. It's the way it works. Right, that's me done for the day. I will go fix my microphone. Somehow figure out what the hell happened. And yeah, I'll sort that out at some point, but love it. Right, I'll be back tomorrow, member stream at 8 o'clock. I haven't got a subject yet for the member stream tomorrow. So it will be, probably I'll do a lesson on not updating software. That's probably a good lesson for everybody. But yeah, so I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do tomorrow morning yet. I'm working on a new dashboard. This is the new Trade Manager Dash, which I'm working on, which is an EA variation of the Trade Manager Dash, basically, with lots more functionality and features. So I'm developing this at the moment, but I'm not going to do a session on it in the member stream because you don't need to know what I'm doing. It's just so it's a profit. I'm just going to bank all this profit. I might as well close all that as well. Thank you. So yeah, so I was working on this on Friday because somebody mentioned it, and I suddenly went, oh yeah, I forgot I was developing that, and I got sucked into this on Friday, and I spent all Friday afternoon on this. So I was meant to be planning what we were going to do on Tuesday. Anyway, so yeah, I'm working on that at the minute. So tomorrow, I haven't got anything specific planned. So if there's anything members want to cover, let me know. Other than that, I will let you know tomorrow what we're doing. We'll be doing something. But as usual, we will go through, at worst case scenario, we'll be going through the usual stuff with all the systems and strategies and looking at what's happened, basically, and just picking apart what the hell we're going to do with this new Trump world that we live in. So yeah, I'll be working on updates to the position trader EA as well, because I'm going to put the market reversal, or I'm going to put a variation of the market reversal alert indicator into the position trader EA. There's a few other enhancements I want to make to the position trader EA as well, which I'm going to be working on. But yeah, content-wise, we'll figure it out tomorrow. So we'll discuss something, but hopefully with a microphone that doesn't sound like a Dalek underwater. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Anything you need, let me know. Any members, if there's something you want to cover tomorrow, stick it in the members group, and obviously we'll cover it. And also my lights keep playing up and turning themselves off. It's technology still gone wrong. AI is taking over the planet. This is the Terminator. This is how it starts. Anyway, I'll let you all go now. Have a good day. Anything you need, I'll be in Discord. I'll be keeping a close eye on the markets today, so just watch Discord if you're interested. But I'll be watching Financial Juice like a hawk today. And here we go. We've got stuff going on again already. 25% cuts in March and a couple more in later months. So ECB bearish, dropping rates. If Trump's tariffs come in, yeah, so I'll post stuff as it comes out and what I think it's going to do. But be very careful longing the euro. If you've got any longs on, just be very careful, because there's a possibility of the same thing happening to the euro as it did to the CAD. So beware. Right, have a good one. Anything you need, let me know. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. If not, Wednesday afternoon, and then back on Friday morning if you're not members. All right, have a good one. See you next time.